everyone, welcome back to Crochet Collective again. Today we're going to be making these little pumpkins. So these are some little flat pumpkins. Now you can do this with any yarn that you've got, whether it's wool, acrylic, cotton, bamboo, or these ones I've made at the back are cord. All you'll need is something orangey coloured and then either brown like I've used on those or green. So I'm going to make mine today with this acrylic yarn, which is like this one here. Whatever it is that you choose to use, whether you go for something chunky like a cord or something thinner like that, is just use the hook that the wool recommends on the packet. So for me today, I'm going to be using my trusty 4mm. This is literally just a cheap hook off eBay, and even though I crochet loads, it is still one of my favourites. You'll need your scissors for cutting off and a needle for tying in your ends, but I will show you how to work over most of the threads so that you don't have to do any weaving in. Now I'm going to start with a magic circle for this one, but if you really struggle with the magic circle, it is really worth practicing. I'll put a link to another video in the description box for 3 easy ways to do a magic circle. If you've tried and you still can't get the hang of it, then you can go ahead and chain and join and make a loop that way. So I would say chain 3 or 4, join to the first chain and then work into that circle. So I'm going to start off by chaining 2, and then we're going to do 12 treble crochets or double crochets if you prefer, into the middle. So this first chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch. So we're going to yarn over, insert, pull a pulley loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And you want to do that 12 times. So I'll just show you again. Yarn over, insert into the loop or your chain, whichever you've done. Pull up, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now as you work, if you've done the magic circle, you can pull it slightly smaller as you're working, so it's easier to work with, but obviously don't pull it all the way closed. You'll pull it closed when you get all the way to the end. So keep going until you've done your 12, and then you're going to slip stitch to complete and move on to round 2. So seeing as I'm already there, let's just quickly count up, because I haven't been counting. So not including the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So pull that tight. Now you can either weave that in and snip it, but because I don't really like weaving it in, I'm going to work over it. So I'm going to slip stitch like that. And we'll go on to round 2. I'm going to start with a chain 2 again, not counting as your first stitch. And I'm going to work over this. Now, if when you've chained, you're not sure which stitch it is that you're working into, just pull that out a little bit. The easiest way to check, great if you're a beginner, is to count back from where you've just finished. So you know you're going to work into that last stitch there, just pull that out, into there, okay? So count back 12, and that will then give you your first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? That's how you know where you're working into. So we're going to do 2 treble crochets in every stitch, or obviously US double crochet if you prefer. So again, yarn over and insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And so that I don't have to weave this in, I'm just laying it on my work there, so that when I go into the stitch, I've then got my stitch and I've got the loose thread over it as well. You don't have to work that in all the way around, just under the first few stitches, and that'll just hold it in place. This isn't something that's going to be, run through the washing machine 100 times. If I'm making something like a cardigan or jumper or scarf, hat, whatever, then I do tend to work over it and weave it in, just so that it is that little bit more secure. but I do try and avoid weaving wherever I can. So now that I've weaved it in I've worked over it quite a bit, I can just snip that, get rid, and keep going. So at the end of this round, you've started with 12, you've done 2 in every stitch, so 2 times 12 is 24. You should have 24 stitches. Now there is a written version of this pattern as well. I'll put a link in the description box below. If you're not used to following written patterns, it's a really, really good way to learn, is that once you've got a video to watch, there's a written pattern to go with it. You can follow the written pattern at the same time as having the video, and it'll just get you used to crochet abbreviations and how patterns are written. There is a PDF version available on Ravelry for just £1, because that tries to fund doing more of these videos, because as you'll tell, I don't have adverts on the vids, and I don't make any money from YouTube or anything like that either. So it just helps keep me going, keeps the yarn supply going. So slip stitch to join again, and you've now got a perfect circle. But pumpkins aren't circles, so now we need to work on creating the shape of our pumpkin. So what we're going to do now is round 3, I'm going to chain 1, okay, I'm going to half treble crochet in the first stitch, or half double in the US. Again, if you're a beginner and you're not sure which stitch you're working into when you've done your chain, is count back 24, okay. So if I just show you now, because sometimes that gets confused as a stitch. So you know that that's your last stitch there. So this orange is quite hard to see on the video. So if you slip stitch over there, remember that this is still your last stitch, not this, okay? So to find out which is your first stitch you're going to work into, so if you're not a beginner, you can always skip forward. I'm going to count back 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay, so you know that that there is going to be the first stitch that you work into. Okay, so I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to work into there. So it's kind of at the base of that chain. I'm going to start with a half treble or half double. So that's yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. So it's kind of half the size of a treble. I'm going to do 2 of those in the first stitch, so 2 half trebles. This is where as well, if you've got the written pattern, you can skip ahead and just use the video if you need it. And now we want to make it a bit bigger again. So we're going to go back to doing our treble crochets or US doubles. But we still want to kind of be increasing because we don't want our work to fold. So we're going to do 1 treble and then 2 trebles. So there's the first treble. And this one I'm going to do 2 trebles. So yarn over, insert, pull up, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, and we want 2. So we'll do that again. And then the pattern says that you need to repeat that. So repeat from there to there 4 times in total. Okay, so that's 1 repeat. So if we do 1 and then 2, that's our second repeat. 1 and then 2, that's our third repeat. Oops, sorry. And then 1 and then 2. Just pop that back straight. That's our third repeat. Sorry about that. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we want to bring this bottom back in again slightly so that we don't have a circular pumpkin. We want it to be a bit flat on the bottom, so we need some shorter stitches now. So now we're going to do, we've done our repeat 4 times, and we want 1 half treble crochet in the next stitch. So that's yarn over, insert, pull up, yarn over through all 3. That's our half treble. And then we want 2 double crochets in the next stitch, or single crochet if you prefer. 1, 2. Okay, and then you want to slip stitch into this one, and that will pull that in even shorter. So we've slip stitched, And now that we're halfway, we want to carry on all the way around, doing exactly what we've just done, but in reverse. So now we want to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch, single crochet, okay, and then 1 half treble crochet in the next, and then we're going to repeat what we did before. So we want 2 treble crochets followed by 1 treble crochet in the next. Okay, so I'll do that again, 2 in that stitch and then 1 in the next. And again, you're going to repeat that for 4 times. So this is the 3rd, and then this is the 4th. So you should this time end that repeat with a 1 treble crochet. Okay, and then last of all, we're going to do 1 half treble crochet in the last stitch of that round. Now you'll notice that you don't join back up and you have got a gap there. That is where our stalk is going to go. Okay, so I'm just gonna snip this yarn, but what I like to do is if you just chain and then snip, pull through, that is now nice and secure. You can tie it in a knot as well if you wanted to, so you can go back through like that, pull it through and tie in a knot. But again, I only tend to do that if I'm doing garments and it needs to be really, really secure. Again, if you want, you can either weave this in, or when we do our stalk, you can work over it. So for this, you'll either want green or brown. I'm using this one today. I'm afraid I have absolutely no idea what it is. It's just something that's come from the yarn stash. So I've probably had it a while and there was no label on it. So what we're going to do is reattach our new colour where you've tied off. There are pictures for this on the pattern. So attach your new colour. Again, I'm just going to be a little bit lazy and just tie it in a knot to tie it on. I've now got 2 loose ends at the bottom. I'm going to work over both of those so I don't have to weave either of them in. Like I say, I'm lazy when it comes to weaving in. It's not my favourite thing. I don't think it's anybody's. So we're going to single crochet where we've just attached in the top of the half treble that we finished on. So that was my chain to join. So I'm going to do single crochet, or UK double crochet, and then we're going to do a half treble crochet, a single crochet in the top, and then again in the base there, I'm going to do another one. And then we're going to do another into the treble crochet that we didn't work in the last round. And then we're going to do another one in the base of that half treble crochet that we started the last round on. And then last of all, we're going to do a double crochet or US single in the top of the half double crochet from the last round. And that now joins on your green, it fills in the gap and it just pulls that top in slightly. Okay, so we now should have 5 stitches. You've got the one that you've just finished on there. So it's not very bright, this, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to chain 1, turn your work. As you can see, I've worked over both of those loops, so I can just snip those off rather than having to weave them in. Snip. Okay, so I've chained 1, and I want to do double crochet 2 together. So we're going to insert and pull up, insert, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, double crochet in the middle, or US single crochet, don't get too confused, you'll have a wonky pumpkin, and then double crochet 2 together again. Now for this, you might see on some patterns it'll say double crochet 2 tog or DC2 tog. It might also just say DEC, decrease. It's the same thing. Just depends how somebody's chosen to write it. So chain 1 and turn back again. So you've now decreased by 1 on each end, so you now should have 3 stitches left. So this time, because I might want it to lean slightly because it's a pumpkin, I'm going to double crochet in the first and then double crochet 2 together in the last. Now I'm going through both loops on this. If you're making something like a toy or doll, you tend to do an invisible decrease, but you don't really need to do that with this, so keep it simple. That's decreased, so I've now got 2 stitches. I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to do a double crochet into each. So that'll mean we've still got 2, we've not decreased or increased. Chain 1 and turn. Now I want this down to 1, so I'm going to decrease again, insert, pull up, insert, pull up, pull through all 3. Chain 1 and turn. You've now just got the 1 stitch left. Double crochet and done. So you've got a nice pointy end, and then you can tie off that colour. Now this really is the only one that you need to actually weave in, because we're finished working the pumpkin, so there's nowhere to hide it. So all I would do is go back down through the end, weave backwards and forwards. I tend to do it down the stem where the stitches are a little bit tighter, but it's more than likely it's going to be hung as a decoration somewhere. 2, I tend to just go backwards and forwards 3 times and we're done. And there we have it. Turn it back to the right side. And there is your pretty pumpkin. So maybe for a nice Halloween decoration, you could even add a little face, either embroider on some triangles, or you could even crochet some mini triangles and tie those on. And then if you get a long length of one of your colours, you could either add it to the string, or what's even better is if you want to make a pumpkin and you don't want your bunting to move around, is if you create a chain as your thread that you're going to hang your things off, is when you've done some chains and you've got your pumpkin to where you want it, is as part of your chain, go through the top of your pumpkin, and you basically want to double crochet on or slip stitch it on like that, and then continue chaining for however long you want your gap to be. So it depends how long you're making your pumpkin, how long you're making your bunting, and how many pumpkins you've got. See, we've got a little basket of pumpkins ready. This will then stop them from sliding around when you hang them on the wall. Stops them all bunching down together, means you don't need any pegs or anything. And then you will have your own Halloweeny bunting. Maybe make sure that they're all on the right way. There we go. So have fun, make some pumpkins. I'd love to see them. All different shades of orange, greens, browns. Let's get autumny. I think maybe some leaves would be nice to add in between. If we could crochet some leaves. Send me your pictures. Always love to see them. You can either tag me on Instagram. I'm at Let's Create a Gift. I'm also on Facebook under the same name, or come and join our Facebook group, which is the Crochet Collective on Facebook. Thanks very much. Hope you enjoyed that quick video. Sorry about nearly knocking the camera over. See you again soon. Bye.